I will not start up. I'm diving back in.
I feel my sorrows fading away. I close my eyes to see the light that's shining deep inside me. I just can't sleep, get lost in these moments. Can't press repeat, gotta freeze it and hold it. I'm in too deep, as deep as the ocean.
What's up, friends and followers? Thanks for clicking. If you don't know, my name is Cody Taylor. I'm a full-time freelance muralist primarily, but overall artist and painter. Today we've got a special one. We're doing a triptych, but this is a very large triptych. Each canvas individually is 2 feet by 3 feet, which makes just a very large overall wall space that this canvas is going to be covering. Last night I did the hard work sketching it out using a projector. I probably can insert a clip for you guys. I've set up my table, I've set up my paints, I'm ready to go. The content of the painting is a horizontal rose. It's a relatively simple design compared to what I usually do. While the design is relatively simple, I'm using a medium called Matte Gel by Liquitex. It's going to add a lot of texture to the painting. So while there might be a couple areas that are just big blocks of color, even those areas will be interesting to look at. You guys will see this was a bit of a long intro. I apologize. Let's dive right in. Yo, this project is fascinating to me because 99% of the paintings I do, a very large portion of my focus is towards making sure everything is flat and there's no texture, brush strokes still visible. I want a clean, flat painting, almost as if it has been printed on there. I don't want evidence of paintbrush strokes and all of that. However, for this one, I'm going to use a second layer of texture and I'm going to purposely put variations in the texture and in the thickness and everything. And it's going to be deliberate and awesome. So in my first layer, I don't have to worry at all about smoothing out. Let me try and show you. About smoothing out all the striations and texture and stuff like that. I don't know if the camera picked it up. I just put it down and know I'm going to cover it up later. It's a bit of weight off my shoulders. I quite like this. If it turns out well, maybe I'll do some more of it here in the near future. Alright y'all, background layer is painted. It actually looks so pretty being smooth like that. But that is not the point of this painting, and it is not going to stay. This is just an underpainting for the background. If you're wondering why I only have 2 out of the 3 when it's a triptych, it just can't all fit in this space. And these are the 2 that actually have the flower on it, while the third one will just be background and texture and stuff like that. So I can easily do that one separately. If you're wondering why the canvases don't actually line up well and the flower looks like it just cuts off, it's because once the painting is actually hung up on the wall, there's going to be a 6 to 8 inch gap between the canvases. So if they lined up perfectly, that would look weird. This will look normal once I space them out. Alright y'all, day 2, and I'd go as far as to say this is probably the fun part. Literally all I'm doing right now is filling in these colors. It's like a paint by numbers. Strategically, I label every single box and every single shape as I'm sketching it out, just so I don't have to think at all in this step. There's 5 different shades. This is very simple, no thinking at all, just filling out the flower. So I repainted the background color. My shadow's kind of blocking it, but I think it's a pretty nice color now. It's definitely more accurate to the to the original mock-up. Now it is time to take this same background color that I just used, mix it with some of this acrylic medium matte gel stuff, and this is what will thicken the paint so I can have texture and play with texture. In the mock-up that I made for the client, there's like this abstract design obviously that I did, but since it's abstract, I'm not going to try and perfectly match it. I'm just going to go for the same vibe that I did in the thing. But in the middle one, it's not stroking right or stroking left or up or down. It's kind of like blotchy. My goal is to make the abstractness feel natural. It's going to be more on the left of the three and slowly fade out to the far right of the triptych. I'm going to try and apply both that in thick paint and this dark blue in thick paint, and I'm going to try and blend them together while also giving each of the three canvases a different look and a different appeal. So let's try our best. All right, y'all, I think it's going pretty well. You can see that the canvases are flipped right now, but as I continue to build layer and layer of this thick abstract paint style thing I'm doing, it's going to get more and more three-dimensional. It's going to get more and more abstract and cool, and it's going to flow from the far left canvas that I haven't even started to the middle canvas, which is actually on the right now, and then end on this canvas with the rose petals on it. I'm excited about the gradient of these abstract thick paints. I spent like 30 minutes mixing 5 different levels, starting from this, which is just the first one, dark blue, all the way until like a light beige color, and it's 5 layers in between. It's gonna be sick, super excited about it. Stick with me, trust the process, let's get it. Trust the process, man. That's something I truly believe in. How could you not believe in trusting the process? But at the same time, where has that gotten Embiid at this point? The truth is, if you would have asked me at this point how the project was going, I wouldn't lie to you. I'd say it's going all right. But at the same time, I was starting to lose a little bit of self-confidence. The truth is that I just didn't have the level of experience or comfort in this painting technique required to complete this commission without any hiccups. This is a very large project, a bit of an expensive one, and one going in the front entryway of someone's home. It's not a project I can just take lightly. This project is very important to my client, and therefore it's very important to me. I needed to make sure that the painting I was making turned out exactly like the mock-up. But how do you do that with an abstract painting? That's something I was really struggling with. Do I have to copy it exactly as the mock-up was? Or do I just try and catch the same vibe? Man, it's a little bit more confusing when you start looking at it like that. And that's where I lost my confidence. So if you couldn't tell, I've obviously changed setups. I started this painting at a place I was house sitting for around 3-4 weeks, and I didn't finish that painting within that time despite setting myself a time limit that I've just absolutely blown through. And so I'm done house sitting. I've moved back into my studio, and it's time to get back after this painting. As a YouTuber who's trying to be as fully transparent and honest with my audience as possible, I am feeling incredibly frustrated and a bit of lack of self-confidence with this painting. I've felt unmotivated before in the past, and I've felt the difficultness of fighting through an ugly stage, but with this painting, that just seems to be on a whole nother level. It is large, it's the biggest canvas painting I've ever done, but it's also just got a lot to do with the approach I chose to approach this painting with. I wanted to use paint thickener to add texture and stuff, but when it didn't work on the first layer, that started to seep through on the next layer. I didn't get it right on my first try, so now every try following, I'm working it, but you can see the textured effects of the earlier ones. Anyways, I'm struggling, and that's just the truth. For you guys, it's been 5 or so minutes. That's the beauty of YouTube. For me, it's been almost a month, and I'm nowhere close to where I need to be. All I can possibly do is sit down, dial in, and keep working it. If I think about it, I'm gonna think this sucks. But if I paint, it will get better, no matter how slowly it's getting better. So I just gotta do it. Time to dive right back in. Worst comes to worst, I have to tell the client I can't make this painting. I've never done that once before, but that's worst comes to worst. Hopefully it doesn't come to fruition. Second worst comes to worst, I have to start over. But each of these canvases were $100. I do not want to start over. I will not start over. I'm diving back in. Don't even think about it. Let's get it. Wish me luck, please. So I dive right back in. I did exactly like I said I was going to. And I think my insisting on sticking with it was the only thing that got me through this project. I did eventually get through this project. I completed it. I gave it to the client, and everything turned out just jolly, merry, happy, and good in the end. Everything was great, but it obviously had its fair share of hiccups, and I struggled through this project, but I don't really think that's bad, actually. I actually think that kind of makes the painting in and of itself more valuable. It's a painting where I learned stuff. It's a painting that didn't come easy. It's a painting with multiple layers, metaphorically and literally. I think this painting had about 10 layers everywhere. It's so funny, I covered up so many things throughout the project that it was like, why am I still doing this spot over and over and over again? But I stuck with it, and it got me to where I needed to be. Something in life that we should always aim to do. Thanks for watching, y'all.